Hey, y'all. You are listening to Definitely Not For Everyone with your girl, Nicolette. And I'm here with my co-host, Diana. We are here today with Miss Sydney Duncan. Girl, I've been looking up about you. Ballerina, physicist, TikToker. Like, I'm sure there's more to add to that list.
That's
Will you
right.
both please say hello to the audience for me?
Hi, guys.
Hey y'all, how you doing?
So I can only speak for myself, but TikTok made life a little easier with all the traumatic shit that was going on. And it was nice to see people like sharing their lives, sharing their perspective, and living life. So I have you here today to really just say thank you for all the stuff, all the posts that you put out, because you cracked me up. And it was like I was in your head. You know what I mean? Like a lot of your posts and everything you do, I'm like, that's like in her head. Like all of the things I'm seeing is like what she's thinking and what she would say, but she don't say, but she says it
Yes.
on TikTok. Yes. And I was like, I really like that. And it's quirky and it's cute. And anyway, so I just really wanted to find out more about you and to say thank you. Usually, how I like to begin our conversations is by asking you to define yourself, because every day is different, right? So define yourself for who you are today. I think I'll start off. I'm worried
Mm.
my co-host is gonna fall over and not regain consciousness because she just banged her head on a concrete wall, and that we won't be able to finish this episode. I am half Asian, I'm half Japanese and half Black. I grew up in Brooklyn. I just moved to Harlem like 2 weeks ago, and I'm very happy. I was living in the Bronx, but I am so much happier here than I was there. And yeah, and I'm really, really happy that Miss Sydney Duncan decided to come on the show. Yeah.
I'm excited to be here. You guys are
So,
so giggly. I love it.
Oh.
Sydney or Diana, would you ladies like to go next?
Well, Diana's going to be real brief because she did just really hit her head, guys. And bear with me if you see a knot start forming. But other than that, I was good. And as always, I'm hungry and cold. So that's how I am every night. So here we go.
I
So
like
thank you
that.
for
She was
being
like,
here, though.
I was good. Like, I want to
Yeah.
start saying, like, when people ask me that, well, I was, like, saying it that way. But thank you so much for the compliments when you guys were just saying, like,
Yeah, we're so happy you're here.
thank you. Yeah, it's such a pleasure to meet new people too. But with the TikToks, like, yeah, like that's definitely how I look at them. Like I read the news and pop culture every day, and I'm like, this reminds me of this. This is how I see the situation, and then just turning the camera on, like, well, say what how that that black female perspective looks at the situation. But I guess okay, where am I today? I'm actually really emotional today.
Okay.
Oh,
Um,
it's Mercury retrograde right now, right?
Maybe it's that. I
Mm.
don't know, but just this week and this day, like I think a lot of things are just changing and moving around, and it's just
Mm.
making me just like very happy for what was and what's to be, and just like very retrospective. So yeah, just kind of a little more emotional. Usually I'm pretty cold, but today I feel like a puddle. I feel like a puddle today. I'm a little cold.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice. Wow.
That's so
malleable,
And
malleable puddle.
wow.
Mhm.
See, that's the
So,
writer in you. I love that. I love that. I feel like a puzzle. May I use that? I'm using that.
Yeah, yeah,
I
just
you
like
feel like
should.
she's
a
gonna use
puzzle.
your I was, so
I
everybody's
love
using
that
something.
because I dig that. I get that. You know, I feel like a puzzle. I like that.
Yeah. I actually
Thanks,
said
Amy.
puddle, but
Oh,
puzzle works.
see, it's starting, guys. It's starting. It's a
But I mean,
concussion. It's
women are
starting.
puzzles. We're
Women are,
complex,
we all are
and
puzzles,
yeah, we're just
actually.
figuring
All human
ourselves
beings
out.
are
The
Yeah,
puzzles.
concussion is starting.
And we are definitely puddles if you really think about
yeah,
how much water is in our body.
for sure.
So maybe Diana, you should maybe not talk anymore? Put yourself on mute?
She's having a grand time tonight.
Yes, she
It's great.
is.
'Cause
Uh,
I was like tired, but I was like, oh, this will be great. And then now I'm like,
Oh my God, y'all are cracking me up.
yeah, it's starting, Sydney. It's gonna be you and me, boo. Okay.
oh,
So
okay.
I want to know a little bit about your background in ballet and physics. But before we get to that, can you tell me who your people is? Like, what's your background? How did you grow up? The younger years.
Yeah, the younger years, who my people are. So I'm from Texas. I'm from North Dallas. Um, and I understand that I look and my camera doesn't help me, but I am very light skinned, but I'm actually not mixed. I'm black. But when you're down south, black people come in all colors. So it never was a big thing for me. But as soon as I moved out of the south, I was like, oh, people think I'm this, people think I'm that. But that just comes with the territory. People are nosy, people want to know stuff. And at first I was always just like, no, like don't ask, like you don't ask, like you just live your life. And because I never ask other people, but it also it made me think about um like what is my heritage in the sense of like where's my lineage, and like where exactly does it go back to where we can't look no more, or know no more and stuff like that. So, and that really helped me talk to my grandparents more. My mom's family's from Kansas and my dad's family's from Louisiana. So you have a lot of mixture of different cultures within the
Hmm.
black diaspora, and learning about all of them and all of that. And I definitely have some Native American in me as well. And I found out that one of my ancestors married a Native American, and I thought that that was so cool. And
Very
hearing those
cool.
stories and stuff like that. So that's a little bit of where I come from. But yeah, Texas, born and raised. That's where the y'alls are from. The slurs. Sometimes my words on TikTok don't come out right, but that's where it comes from. But yeah, I hope I answered your question.
You
You
totally
did,
did.
Mama, you
People,
did.
You did.
yeah.
What kind of child were you? Were you like I mean,
Oh,
with all the things that little things that I
uh-huh.
already know about you, were you a very inquisitive
Oh
child
yes,
or
yeah. I was definitely very curious, very energetic. I could not sit still. Um, yeah, I was like jumping off the wall. Like my parents were just like sit down. You're going to hurt yourself. And then I would hurt myself. And then my dad was like, "See, I told you so. Like sit your ass down." And then I was like, you're right." But my parents, they were like, I adore them so much, and they were always like, what do you like to do? What do you want
mm,
to do? And they were always, still are, just so supportive of like, you want to do that? Okay, let's go do that. But you're not gonna like just do that. You're gonna really dedicate your time to it, and be determined about it and work hard. There was no like not working hard. Like that's not
mm,
a thing. And not in a toxic way, just in a way of like, we're not going to pay this money for you to just be disrespectful and not appreciate what we have the ability to give you. So I was dancing, I was singing, I was playing the saxophone, I was loving science and math. I wanted to perform any way, shape, or form. Um, but I also did love school, but I definitely loved numbers and science more than reading. I wasn't a big reader. Still wish I was a better reader, but but yeah, I was a little goofy girl. I still am. People who've known me since elementary school, they're like, "Sid, you've stayed exactly the same. You've never changed."
aw,
And that was like, okay, cool. But I'm like, wait,
right.
what was that like in a bad way? I've never changed. But no, they're just saying that like your personality, you've just gotten an older version of the 5-year-old we met. So
Oh,
that I
damn.
was like, okay, cool.
Oh, that's cute.
That's
Well, where
cute.
did the acting come in at? The acting, the writing,
Yes.
and the performing that we see.
Yeah, definitely. In high school, there was like an audition for a musical, and I had always wanted to do musicals. It's just that with ballet, every day after school you're training, and there's not a lot of time for, okay, and now you're gonna do theater after school. Now you're gonna do, like, there's only so much time, and my parents only have two legs and 2 feet, or whatever the phrase is, 2 arms, 2 feet. And I auditioned for the musical, and I got one of the leads in Thoroughly Modern Millie, and I got to sing and dance, and I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. Like, and my whole family came, and I got to sing like 2 solos and dance and do this and act and be funny. And I was like, oh, this, I felt like this was me. This felt like me. But my first passion, and like kind of like like on a scale of like what's more important to me, was dance. I loved ballet and dance more than anything on this planet. And when the training got more intense, it just, even though I wanted to act, there's just no time. There was no time to really be like, okay, now I'm going to switch gears. And on top of singing saxophone school, whatever else I was doing, and training 20 hours plus a week in ballet,
Wow.
there was no thought to to ask my parents, like, hey, by the way, I know I have no time and I can't sleep. Sorry, I sound like a toad.
No, you don't.
Could I also like do this as well? It just felt like there's just no time.
Right.
So in high school, I went to a performing arts school. Well, my first year, my freshman year, I was at a public high school, and then sophomore through senior year, I went to Booker T. Washington, which is like the big performing arts school in Dallas.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Fame, but in Dallas.
Yes.
And a lot of cool people come from there. You know, Erica Badu, Nora Jones. People. The alumni there is miraculous. Like, everyone just has such a beautiful journey from that school. So I went there sophomore to senior year, and I was, playing my saxophone, singing. And you train extensively in your fields. You're not just in band, you're taking band and musical theory.
Right.
And
because it's a performing school, right?
Yeah,
okay.
improvisation, all of that. And I loved every single class. I loved it. I loved that school. And I was also dancing and all of that. And I wanted to do theater as well. And they have an amazing theater program. So many kids go to Juilliard every year from there. But it was like, I just, like, there was just no time.
Right. Yeah.
So it always felt like far away, but very close. I could have taken an acting class, but there's just not enough time in the day to do so much.
Right.
And then I went, I was like, no, I have to go hard on dance. If I want to be a professional, I understood that I wasn't at the level that I needed to be a professional right out of high school.
And that was the goal.
It was in my head, but my parents were like, that's not what Black folks do. You're going to go to college.
Right.
You're going to college. Like, there's no, you're not going to college. And actually, they were like, oh, well, you can minor in dance, but you're going to get a science degree. You're going to get a real degree. And they weren't pushy or negative.
Interesting.
Yeah, they weren't pushy or negative with anything. They were just saying, they were just thinking realistically, what
right.
their parents had told them.
Yeah.
You don't go and pay all that money for college and come out with a degree that you can have and have a career without it. Like, you don't need to dance in college. You can, and I learned so much from that program. But they were just saying, you're so smart. You love math and science. And my dad actually
and you can get a job from it.
And you can get a job from it. So,
mainly. You can live life off of that. Yeah.
For sure. In my sophomore year, I really started to get into science, and I loved space and outer space, and just astronomy and NASA, like anything that I was very interested in. And junior year, I had my first physics class. I was like, this is beautiful.
This is it.
This is cool. Gorgeous. I don't know what this is, but it made so much sense in my head. My teacher was an incredible teacher.
That makes the difference. That makes the difference. Good teachers.
Yes. Yeah. And he understood that he worked at an art school, and he flipped every question into, oh, a dancer's doing this. Oh, the sound going through a saxophone. Da, 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 da. And I was like,
Right.
this is
Blown, mind blown.
everything.
Yes.
And
'Cause physics is
yeah,
all about movement, right?
it was. And kinematics, you spend a lot of time on that when
Mm-hmm.
you first learn physics. And I was like, this is dance. This is dance. But instead of like just
Science form.
forcing everything, you're learning like how your body moves. And that is what really like tuned me into it. And I would come home every day after dance telling my dad, like, oh, like I thought about velocity today, and I thought about acceleration, and then I like thought about jumping this way, but then conserving my energy, and then I had more power, Dad. And he was just like, you are my child.
I
Like
love
my
that.
dad is an electrical engineer,
Yes.
and
Ah.
my mom's an architect, and his parents were math and science teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, Sid, you come home every day talking about physics and dance, but like you should pursue this. He would, like he saw it as like I would be a bad dad if I wasn't saying, hey, no
Yeah.
one cares about physics, but you do. You should look
Yes.
into this.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is that it? Am I incorrect in saying that you majored in both?
Yes.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
you
I
did,
did.
right?
Yeah,
And
I was.
are you the first Black woman to graduate with both?
Yes. Unofficially, I have no idea the official status, because unfortunately there's not a lot of record of just Black women in physics and in ballet in
Mhm.
academia, in higher ed, especially in college. So yeah, no, I was like, no, I'm not gonna minor. I still wanted to be a professional dancer. Like above
Right.
everything else, I loved physics, but I loved dance more. And I knew that dancing was gonna make me more happy than sitting down in a lab
Mhm.
would make me feel. So
Mm.
I went to college with the notion of I'm going to dance ballet and train extensively. I went to a program to where you're in a ballet company. You train 6 hours a day.
Cool.
You perform,
But hard.
2, 3 times a
Damn.
semester. Um, I wanted that. I wanted to
Yeah.
feel like I was moving my career forward by putting things on my resume and getting great training.
Mm-hmm.
But I also was like, oh, but I understood that I'm a 6 foot tall Black woman, and I understood that the world was not going to be kind to
Yes.
me in any way, shape,
Yes.
or form. I never had the opinion that like, oh, I've got this.
Right.
Everyone's gonna love me. No, no. I
Yeah.
honestly, it was so much of the opposite that I really had to work on my confidence still am for a really long time.
Please, I
Really?
still
Feeling
am too.
worthy. Oh yes, yeah.
That was the one thing I kept saying to Nikki was we
Yeah.
gotta ask her where she gets her confidence, because
That is
anyone to,
crazy.
and I kept
Really?
saying that, yes,
She
the
did.
confidence to, right, Nikki, to
Yes.
be herself
Yeah, we were
in
talking today like
whatever
around five
moment that
o'clock.
was.
Yep.
Wow.
Whether you were
Yep.
making
See, and I'm
political,
already emotional, and
commentary.
that's just gonna make me like really
And
emotional.
I thought I was like, that I would really love to know, and I hope she
Yeah.
shares where she gets it, because that is brilliant. For one, to go to school, follow both your passions at the
Mm-hmm.
same time. Such
Mm-hmm.
a difficult, both of them, so
Mm-hmm.
difficult, so taxing on your spirit, on your
It
mind, on your
sure was.
body. And you said, I'm not going to do one. I'm going to do them both in the
Yeah.
field that is so difficult for Black women to begin with.
Yeah.
And then you do the TikTok thing and you lay it all out, and you are creative and you are funny
Mhm.
and you are making people think and making people laugh. I was like, who is she?
Yeah. Who's this goofy ass
So
girl?
thank you for that. Thank you for
Yeah.
being
I just
you.
text her.
We
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
you. We
And
Yeah.
appreciate
and
you.
I think
We
that
see you, girl. We see you.
thank you. That makes me feel good, because sometimes I go a little too far on TikTok. I get it. I cuss a lot. I say some stuff that makes a group of people who voted for a certain Cheeto bag feel a certain type of way. No, I've people are like, I'm gonna report you, and then I'm like, oh
Okay.
hell, here we go. Here I go getting shadow
Go
banned. And I
ahead.
would, and then they would take my sound
Oh
off.
my goodness.
Then I would get
I
shadow banned for
noticed
a bit.
that on some of your videos, the
Yep.
sound was, and I was like, what,
I always
what?
thought that too. I was like, why the
Yeah.
sound off? What
Sound was off,
happened?
yes.
And
On some of the
Okay.
sometimes,
videos
like,
I saw.
I'm happy to be on the For You page, because, like, hey, I'm glad new people can see my stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
every time one of my videos go viral, the very next video will be like 200 views.
Yeah, I keep hearing that. That's a
And
recurring theme
so it's
that I
like,
keep
it's like,
hearing.
My whole thing is I don't care to have, millions of followers. Because
That's what
also
it
like,
feels like
it's
when I
like,
watch you.
oh,
Is like, fuck all of y'all. This is for me.
Yes, this for
Like, this is
me.
it's
the
for
thing
me.
that we're
It's
talking about.
for
This
me.
is for
This
me.
is
The
for me.
pandemic hit.
Yes.
I needed some,
I needed a creative
therapy,
outlet.
and TikTok
Exactly.
was my therapy. Fuck all of y'all, right? This
You
is
got
about
it.
to
I'm
get
so
real
glad
right
that
here.
came across.
Yeah,
Oh
sure did.
yes. Oh
You want
yes.
to know
So we
what's
were
in
on
my
board.
fucking head? Well, let me
This is
show
what's
you.
going on. Yeah.
Bam. Yes. And I love it.
But yeah, like back in college when I was doing both of these, it was very taxing. I was going through a lot of mental hurdles of imposter syndrome, anxiety, all of these different things. You're just like, I am not good enough. I cannot do this. I'm putting too much pressure on myself. I feel like I have to overcome and like put like the burden of being this one black woman in these two fields. I put a lot of pressure on myself as an 18-year-old to do a lot. I was taking like 32 credits a semester. I had I was up early, like didn't go to bed. I did not sleep for 4.5 years. It was a lot. But I always had this idea. I was like, I love what I do. I just want to be a dancer so bad. I want to be a performer. But I understood that that might not happen. So I need this other degree. But I feel like I wish someone would have tapped me on the shoulder. Well, maybe probably not, because I'm very happy for where the journey went.
Mhm.
I wish someone would have tapped me on the shoulder at a younger age and been like, you don't have to do anything.
Girl, speak. Yes.
Yeah,
Say it
especially as black
again.
women. We are knowledgeable. Not that I'm saying that black men aren't, but I just think that black women have a heightened sense of understanding that we're not in these spaces. We should be in these spaces. The world will be a better place if we are. And I want to be there. I like science. I like physics. I love outer space and astrophysics. I want to learn about this stuff. And then in ballet, I loved ballet more than I loved myself at times. And that's where the toxicity came from. But I wanted to
Mm.
be here. I wanted to train. I wanted to learn everything you could about artistry and expression and learning more about physics made me understand my body more and how it moved. And I just loved it all. I stayed in it and I had a big talk with myself before college and I was like, you can't do this for anyone. You have to do it for you. And do you love these things? And I was like, yeah, I love outer space and I love dance. Let me do that. And I understood that I was like, all right, it's gonna be hard being a professional dancer. So you're gonna need a backup plan. So might as well have a backup plan that you like physics, that if you can't get an audition or no one likes you, whatever, you could have a job while you're auditioning. So that was my
Right.
thought, and then I went in, but
You
it
have a
was
backup
so
plan.
much work. And I think if someone came up to me, and people have, oh, what should I do? What should I do? And I'm like, write down what you actually want to do. What makes you happy? What do you actually want to do? Not for anyone else, not because, oh, I might need this job here, da 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 da. Well, not in a pandemic, Lord Jesus, but any other time, you're gonna find work. You're gonna find a way to get by. But what do
That's
you
right.
actually want to do?
That's right.
So
That's
don't
right.
worry about, oh, I need to get a STEM degree because that's resourceful and logical. I need to go here because of this and that. Like, do what you want and then along the way make smart moves. I'm not saying just like go live wherever and I'm gonna live on my friend's couch and just figure it out. No, like have a plan or live on the couch. I don't know.
Right.
Don't be
Exactly.
judgmental.
Yes.
But with the confidence thing, that was crazy to me because I've been trying to work on my confidence for years now.
Wow.
I had horrible, horrible, horrible self-esteem. And actually, my therapist years ago was like, "Do you understand you have no self-esteem?" And I
Wow.
was like, "Okay." I'm not gonna say her name, but I was like, "Okay, girl, like that hurt. All
And
right."
also, like, is that supposed to give me more self-esteem? You telling me I ain't got none?
Well,
Anyway.
she said it in a way that she was like, "I don't think you understand like the level in which you
Mm,
talk to yourself and the way that you think the world sees you. Like you have such a low perspective of yourself, such a dark and negative perspective of yourself, that like you not only have low self-esteem, you don't have any self-esteem, you have no comprehension of your worth as a human being.
So let
And
me
to
ask you
get
See
it,
something
that?
real quick.
Did dance break that down in you?
yes, yeah.
Because
But
I
it was
hear
also
that
not the
all the
other,
time
yeah,
for women and especially Black women.
yes,
And it's heartbreaking.
it really is. There definitely needs to be more therapists that understand the special trauma of a Black woman in a space
Mm,
that is not hers.
mm,
Um, because you go into a room every single day that was not made with you in mind, did not want you there. Every day tells you how your body, it's not even your brain. You can learn something, you can change things, but you can't change to a certain degree how you look.
that's right.
And dance questions that. Okay, you got to get them early. You got to break their hips. You got to get on a diet. You got to da 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 early enough to where you need to fit a standard. And Black women, out of every ethnicity, are the highest percentage of not meeting that standard. And so many teachers will tell you at a young age, like, oh, don't pay attention to her. Her thighs will get big and she's no longer worthy. So even if you do go through the ranks and you can kind of like be Eurocentric adjacent as possible, thin so that the Black features don't show as much or whatever. You're light like me so that you can at least blend in better than, someone with more ebony skin. Like all of these things play into a fact. And then you love this thing so much. You're like, I'll do whatever it takes to be able to dance these amazing ballets and work with these amazing choreographers. So you play the game. You're smart enough to go, okay, I understand that this is how I look right now. And all I want to do is be in this dance company that gets to do this amazing contemporary ballet work. Okay, what do I have to do? All right. I need to do Pilates. I need to learn gyrotonics. I need to work on my feet. I need to train harder. I need to diet harder. I need to change every aspect of your physical and mental appearance to appease these people that never ever had the iota to accept you. You will change everything about yourself to for these people at the top of the table to circle your height and exit out and throw your resume away in front of you. So when especially during audition season, you're going through a lot of mental of like, okay, I think I'm a good dancer, or like, you come in, with like, yeah, I'm a good dancer. I've been training. I look great. I got muscles. Blah 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 blah. You're coming in. I've been training so hard, and then to just like not even get to the cut to where you get to dance. You get cut before you get to even show them. I'm gonna prove you wrong. And that 20 years of that is what erodes your sense of self, because you never met that standard. And then you spend so much time in front of the mirror. Sorry, I talk a lot. Please tell me whatever.
No, keep
No,
going.
But
I'm in
please,
it. I'm in
please,
it.
you're
yes.
in front of a mirror constantly with, and this is no detriment to the white girls in my classes, but you're constantly standing next to them and they're being praised and they're the favorites and they're loved, and that's just a perfect example of our society.
Yeah.
This beautiful blonde Eurocentric person, she's not doing anything, to me. Lovely person, we're still friends today, like, hey girl. But constantly, as like when you're 8 to 20 and you see this body every day and it's praised and it's loved, and men love the body as well, and her grades are better, especially in college. They started to grade my body, and if it wasn't up to standard
Wow.
or whatever. So like everything in my life was saying, you're not good enough. My grades weren't, my dancing wasn't, my body wasn't, my social skills weren't, because I was spending so much time with dance and physics. And then Black men, you're not good enough. You goofy girl. That's definitely the biggest comment I get. You goofy girl. Like, oh, they'll see me from afar. Like I'm like my mascara on or whatever. And then like they're like, you goofy. and then just walk away. And you're
What
like,
the fuck is that supposed to be?
I don't know, girl. I
Girl.
do not know.
I've heard that though. Guys said that about me back in college.
Right. I don't think they have
Goofy,
anything
they
else to
called me. Remember I
say.
told you they said I was
Yes.
like Freddie from different worlds. I was
Uh-huh.
spacey. I was,
Spacey, yeah.
That's
yeah,
some
yeah. So
bullshit.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's definitely where it kind of just erodes away because then you're like, okay, I want to feel good about myself, but every aspect of my life seems like I can't do anything right, no matter
Mm,
how hard I try to be this better version of myself. Y'all ain't happy. I can never ever make anyone happy. And I could make myself happy because I put my entire existence and my entire happiness in the hands of people that will never see me. And I forget the psychological term of that, but it's definitely, I think it's avoidance or something where you love people that do not give you love and then you like
mm,
crave their attention
Mm.
because they're ignoring you.
mhm,
Oh God.
And then that cyclical action
I've been
happens for
there.
20 years. And then when you're finally
mm,
out of that realm, you're like, I don't know how to feel good about myself. I don't know how
mm,
to operate in a society where I'm supposed to have confidence. Like I really don't. And I knew I really needed to work on that because I knew that I understood that um you know that the little tweet and TikTok like no one will love you. You don't love yourself or whatever. And I was like, fuck, I don't love me at all. Shit, like what am I gonna do?
oh,
Um so
oh, mama.
I really wanted to work on that. And then with TikTok, it has, I honestly, even though TikTok has its problems, I really do have to thank it for allowing me the space to find that. Because TikTok, especially with the quarantine, okay, so this is my theory on why I think I'm here. With TikTok and with it being in quarantine, I didn't
Hmm.
have to see anyone the next day. So I
That's
could
a good
post
point.
something and put it out in the world and no one cares. Also, people on Instagram, there are people I've known 20 years that
Never
still
thought
don't
of that.
follow my TikTok, you know? There's just kids. It's just kids on TikTok to me. So I post it, get off, live my life. And then I was like, I got comfortable with it because I didn't have any human interaction. And then I'm like, oh, I have so many more ideas I could say. And then I just kept doing it, kept doing it, kept doing it. And then being in my room and then not having to like go to work the next day and like
Mhm.
explain like, girl, why were you in a bonnet with a bed sheet acting like you Harriet Tubman in
Okay,
heaven?
yes, yeah.
Like what are you doing with your life? I
Love
never
it.
had
I
to
can't.
answer.
I can't. That is so funny.
So I could just keep going into these characters because like I don't have to answer to anyone.
I never thought of that. I
Yeah. And
never
then
thought of that. That is yeah, that would
it gives
do
me
it.
so much time. But also in quarantine, I've gotten to do a lot of self reflection and be like, girl, like you're too old to be still stuck on these same issues you've been dealing with for so many years. Like you
Mm,
really need to journal hard. And I've been going to therapy for years now, but like we need to move forward. You know what the issue is now. Okay, now what are we gonna do to fix it? And I'm still working on that confidence, but I'm so glad that my TikToks look like I have
yeah.
it.
You look comfortable.
Thank you.
You
I think it's
do. And then comfortability is part of the whole confidence thing, right?
yeah,
You're comfortable with yourself. Like you revel in your goofiness, as other
yeah,
people will
yeah.
call.
I'm definitely more
And that,
comfortable with myself.
yeah, and that in itself is exudes as confidence when I watch you.
Oh, that's
Mm,
so nice.
So then I just have like two more questions for you, and then
Okay.
we'll head out unless Di has maybe another one.
I'm an oldie.
But like, what is life like right now for you? Like,
ooh.
what you doing right now? You know, what's
Yeah, I'm
happening
doing
in the world for you?
absolutely nothing. I'm kidding. Um,
Sorry, the
no, no,
mic.
no. I am. So, um,
I
even
wasn't
before
expecting that.
quarantine. I mean, okay, so I was working at a restaurant, and then in December, when everything shut down, I got laid off, but it gave me a lot of time to write more stuff, um, enroll in some more acting classes, and just like really full throttle, uh, spend more time, like full time into like, I want to be a performer. And also like, I still want to dance. I still want to sing. I still want to act. That'll never change. I will always want to be a performer. But TikTok and online stuff gives me the ability to be creative in my own world versus like when you audition, hey, you might get an audition here or there. You do it and then they go, thank you. You'll hear from us from like in 2 weeks or something, and then you never do. That's
Yeah.
not fulfilling. So I really wanted to, and I can't dance right now. Like I could take class in my room, but I'm in wood floors. That's the quickest way to get shin splints. So that I could do bar and a couple things, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes,
I needed that
yes.
creative void, and thank God for TikTok being able to do that. But even before quarantine, 2 years ago, I told my best friend, I was like, I want to do comedy. I know that makes no sense. I didn't tell a soul that I wanted to do that. I just told her. I told her because she will support me if I wanted to become a professional bungee jumper. She'll be like, all right, let's do
Oh,
it. Like,
That's a good
I
best
adore
friend.
her. And she was like, let's do it. What do we have to do? And she's very logical in the sense of like, all right, well, what classes can we take? Where can we go? Okay, well, you're in Dallas right now. Do you want to move back to New York? And just kind of like, all right, whatever you want to do, we're going to do it, but
aw.
we're going to be smart about it. And I adore her for that because she never questioned it. She's like, you think you're funny? It was never that. She's like, Sid, I thought you were hysterical since, I met you. And I didn't even have a reason, a full on reason yet. I just felt like I needed to do this. I needed
Hmm.
to I've always been this goofy person, but I haven't allowed her to shine. And
Mm.
then, once I stepped away from being in like a professional ballet company, I felt like I finally stepped back from trying to be someone to just like stop trying to be, and like, who is Sydney? What can Sydney actually do? But can I um, what do I want to do? And I started asking
Mm.
this question 2 years ago, and I was like, I enrolled in my first improv class, and I cried in the car afterwards. It was so amazing, and I was like, I want to do this. Whatever this is,
Wow.
whatever creative space this is, where I'm collaborating with people and I'm creating a scene, and we're like, it gave me that choreography and that like creative sense of like we're dancing and we're making this world up, just like
Right.
in ballet and dance. But then improv and sketch and comedy also, you gotta be so freaking smart to put those gears together.
Totally. I think so
Oh my
too.
gosh,
It's
sometimes
amazing.
yeah, like I'm sitting
I
in front of
love
my
it.
computer and I'm like, how do I finish this joke? And I'm just like, I'll
Yeah,
Google
people
like,
don't realize. People
yeah,
do not realize how
You
much.
should take a class, Nikki. You should take an
No, I
improv class.
shouldn't.
there's
How
Yeah,
so
much?
you'd be good
much,
at it,
No,
yeah,
Mama.
no,
You
I
would be
wouldn't.
so good at
But
it.
how much like smarts and slickness and
yes,
like
Yeah.
yeah,
different, like a whole nother thought
yeah,
process has to happen for you to be able to get that joke and for everybody to get it. You know what
yes.
I mean?
That's
Like,
why I think everyone should take one class in
I
improv.
think
Just
everyone should
one.
take improv, yeah,
Yeah,
or
just one
sketch,
class.
yes.
Yeah, something like, yeah, just you discover a
You
lot about
discover
yourself, I
you.
think.
I
Yeah.
thank improv so much because when I walked into the class, it was my first thing I did after I took a break from dancing, and I walked into the class and I thought I was overweight and all this stuff. I was like, everyone's gonna know that I'm, like bigger, and what do I tell people? Like, what do I do when they ask me what I do? I was like, I don't look like a dancer. I can't say I'm a dancer. I'm unemployed and I live at my parents' house. Like, what am I doing? Um, and they didn't care. They're like, "Hey, what's your name?" And I was
That's
like,
right.
and,
What?
and they saw the human being, and they're like, "Oh, your shirt's cool. Is that Beyonce?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is."
Beyonce, I wanted to talk to you about that too.
Yes,
Like,
we can talk
I love
about
me some
Beyonce. Oh,
Beyonce, girl. I love her
exactly.
so much.
I love her so
I
much
love her so
that
much. And I love
I
your
get
hits
emotional
on
talking about
her.
it.
I was like, oh my God.
I love her
You
so
too,
freaking
man.
much.
I
I am a
I
super fan.
I
When
am
people,
such a
okay, this is
fan.
how petty and
You
just
can't
like
talk about Beyonce to me.
I There's a reason why I haven't done an impression of her, because I can't handle how much I love her to the point where I can't even make fun of her or use her as a vehicle of funny, because I put her on such a high pedestal. And I know you're not supposed to idolize people, but like, I do, okay? I love her.
I love
And
her too.
but yeah, so in improv class, they were like, bring you to the scene. And especially when I moved to New York and I was at UCB and taking classes, they're like, you're trying too hard. All I did was ask you to talk in the scene. And you're doing all of this. No, stop that. Talk to people, listen to people, be a human being. And it makes you scrape away all that shit that you think you need in life and to just exist as who you are. And that's why everyone needs improv, to give yourself the permission to just settle in to your own skin and stop trying to constantly put on all these masks that you don't even realize are there.
Girl,
What
you
your
be
parents'
dropping
expectations,
gems.
I'm
what men's
telling you.
expectations, or what your own expectations are. Like, get the
Wow.
fuck, like, take the masks off, analyze why you feel you need it, and you might need it. Society is
Yeah.
hard. The world is hard. We do need mechanisms to get through our trauma and our daily lives. Sometimes you need
Mm-hmm.
a strong face to get you through something, but
Mm-hmm.
analyze that it's there,
And then
analyze
you
why
need to
you
take
need
it
it,
off. Yeah.
and then understand that sometimes you put it on, and then other times give yourself the permission to take it off and breathe and be like, hey, this is Sid. I'm going to do a TikTok about, I don't know, bumblebees. I don't know. But
Being Trump's Tanner.
you know what? That was the stupidest video
For
in the
his
world.
researcher.
And it is always the stupid videos where I don't care that go crazy. And I'm like, how did y'all like that one? When I spent, a good hour on this one. That one took me 5 minutes, and y'all loved it. Y'all, this one didn't blow up on TikTok, but so there's a video called Doja Cat's twin sister yoga dog.
I think
Y'all,
I saw that one.
it is, oh jeez. Um, Someone in the comments just said, you look like Doja Cat. And I'm like, I do not look like Doja Cat. We're just both light skinned. People think I look
I
like
hate
every
it.
light
I
skin
hate
on
it
the
when people do that. I hate that shit so much.
we don't look, we all look the same. I don't say you look like Justin Bieber.
That's right.
So a lot of my videos are out of spite and pettiness. And
That's great. That's great.
so I was like, I'm
I love.
Doja Cat's twin sister yoga dog, and mom likes me better. I made that video in like 3 minutes. And I was so ashamed of it that I didn't even post it on Instagram. I didn't even post it on Twitter, anything like that. I just posted on TikTok, and then I had like 2 followers on YouTube, and I just put it there. 3 months later, I look back at it, it said 300,000 views. I was like, what the hell? I go to the comments, and I got every little online troll roasting me. They were so mean, but because they were having so much fun roasting me, it boosted the video, and now it's at like 350,000 views. It's the craziest thing.
Wow.
Some of the comments are funny. Some of these trolls, there's some good comedy writers in there. One guy said that you look like Trevor Noah's ugly brother, but the horse version. And I was like, how do you
What?
get away with that?
People
That's
are.
not funny, boo.
It's
I'm
not
gonna
funny,
beat
but I was
I'm
just
gonna
like,
beat his
how'd you come up with
ass.
that?
Why would somebody say some shit? That's fucked. No. What is
See,
his
that's
name?
why I can't. That's why I
Send me
can't do
his
it. Because I'll
link.
be hunting people down. I'll
I
be
will.
where you at, where
Yes.
you live.
I'm
See, I
ready
will
for
be
you.
constantly arguing with people.
One person made a, you know how you can do like different fonts on stuff? I have
Yeah.
never figured that out. He had a different font. He made it in bold, and then he separated each word by like 3 spaces, and he was like zero talent, zero talent.
So rude.
So I figured out how to get his font, and I was like, okay, damn it. I heard you. You didn't have to go through all the fucking fonts.
But I have to say, a negative definitely made a positive.
Right. Also, like the thing about that low self-esteem moment, there is nothing these people can say that I haven't already in. Not the
Oh, mama.
Trevor Noah ugly horse thing. That was I was like, okay, how'd you come up with that? But everything else I've said in some entity to myself. And that's bad, like bad Sydney. But so there's nothing they can say to me where I'm like, we're on the same page. I'm trying to work on it. Okay. Like, um,
So what's next,
yeah.
Sydney? What's
What is next?
next?
So I am fully trying to go into comedy and continuing to perform. So I write sketches. I've been writing sketches for years now, but I've taken classes and I know how to like hone it in and make it appropriate for television or make it appropriate for a sketch show or for late night. So I write monologue jokes. I'm writing sketch packets. I have pilots that are done and ready to go.
Go
And
ahead,
basically,
girl.
like, even if I was in physics, you do internships, you take classes, and you buff up your resume so that when you get that opportunity, because I truly feel that luck is when opportunity meets. What is it? Luck is what
Yes.
happens when opportunity meets preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is no luck or privilege over here. Like, I don't know anybody. I don't know anything. Like, y'all, like, I was featured on Comedy Central today, which was so amazing.
That's so cool.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. It was really cool.
Congratulations.
But I'm about to roast
What?
myself. And I got 7 whole followers.
That is so good, Sydney.
I need to learn how to not focus
Girl.
and be happy. But like I was just saying that because I don't know nobody. So all this I was like, oh okay, she funny, she doing something goofy, cool. But no, nothing automatically came from it or anything like that.
Yeah,
Because it was
it
just like,
will
well, I don't know
though.
who she is. Why am I following
It
her?
will.
So it's okay. I don't get
Yeah,
those followers. But what I'm doing though is that okay, now a little bit more exposure. But now I
that's
have
right.
things in my arsenal so that as I take these classes, as I meet people and get the opportunities to finally be like, oh yeah, like your sketches are really funny. I finally watched them. um, oh, do you have written forms of all these TikToks? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you have longer sketches? Yes. Do you have pilot? Do you know how to write television? Yes. Because
Mm-hmm.
I understand from my backgrounds in dance and physics, you have to be a jack of all trades. Like you have to be able to say yes to everything, and you have to be hireable. I'm always thinking in terms of I understand I'll never be the funniest person or the blah blah blah, like the best person in anything, but I can be dependable. I can be ready and prepared and smart. I still have that logical brain. How can I use that to say, hey, I want to be a professional performer so bad,
Mm.
but not bad enough to like not like me anymore, but just this is what I want to do in my life, and I just want you to know that even though you have no idea who I am, I'm ready, and I'm trying so hard to like put that little confidence that I have in myself to at least be like, get yourself ready
Mm-hmm.
and put yourself out there enough to where people can see you and get out there. So like I did not want to do TikTok. The idea of getting in a camera used to terrify me. I could not take a selfie for years. I didn't take a selfie in like 10 years. I couldn't do it. I would cry and turn the camera off.
Wow.
I could not look at myself in the mirror.
Wow.
I would make sure the toothbrush goes in my mouth and walk away from the mirror. I hated myself. And
Wow.
with TikTok, I had to get over that for the idea. If I want people to know how I feel about America being in timeout because they won't do a mask, I have to get over that I hate myself and just film it and get done with it so you can get off of the camera.
Right.
So
Wow.
I disassociated with like get your idea across because you need to be prepared. We don't have time for you to spend 5 more years hating yourself. We have sketches to make. We have things to do. So
Wow.
that kind of like got me over it. And then
Right.
people on TikTok are, I mean, sometimes they're mean, but usually
Yeah.
they're like pretty nice about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're cute kids. Like millennials, they're
They're
very
so
intelligent.
cute.
It's so
Yes.
funny and like
They put out some good shit, man. I enjoy it
Next
thoroughly.
generation's doing it great.
I know. It's my
It's so
guilty
cute.
pleasure watching them trying to do dances with them.
I know.
My kids are like,
I
no,
make fun
no,
of the
no.
dances, but I'm like, you guys are so cute.
They
They're
are
so
really cute.
cute.
And they're smart too.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of the stuff, well, that's going
And
too far.
they're
Some of
more
them are smart,
conscious.
you know.
They're conscious. Like, I can't get the word. They are very self-aware of like
Yeah.
Yes,
and the way that they give themselves therapy and how they just like
yes,
workshop
yes,
it.
yes.
These
Yes.
are the
I
stuff
just
I've learned
watched
about
that.
myself on TikTok. I'm like, "Huh."
For real.
I'll turn and
Same
look at my partner.
here.
I'm like, you know this?
Yup.
You know this? You didn't tell me this? Like, I'm watching myself, but no, yeah, TikTok has been great for that.
Yeah.
And but what's so great too is that if I have an idea and it gets out there, you get it's a big writer's room. Oh,
Mhm.
Sid, that's such a funny idea. Oh, I love when you said this. I'm like,
Mhm.
thank you. It's like a focus group. It's like a research
Mhm.
group.
Mhm.
I have an idea out. I know exactly when it's not funny. When it didn't work, great. Thank you for letting me know that this doesn't work.
Right.
I can go back. I've learned so much.
Right.
And
That
you know, with
makes
anything, if you want to get better at something, do it every day. So I was like, all right, Sid, fuck how you feel about yourself. We need to get better at something. So the first 100 days of quarantine, I told myself I'm going to film every day. And I was terrified and I was crying and I hated every second of it. But it got me over the hump of getting over myself to then go on and just
do
uh,
it.
understand that like you are a human.
Yeah.
This is what you look like. This is who you are. Now go be who you want to be. So
I think we're gonna end the
Perfect,
show
man.
on that. That was
okay,
That is
perfection
yeah.
right
perfect.
there. That was perfect. You
Yes,
dropped so
that
many
was,
gems,
I'm
Sydney.
telling
Like
you.
I'm telling
I'm
you, girl.
telling,
Like I could not have
wow,
written that out any better than what
wow.
you said. And you went deep too, babe. I really
Oh yeah,
appreciate
sorry.
you.
I rambled
No,
a
I
little
We
bit.
really
appreciate that,
that
I
you
just
that
didn't
no?
get
you
much
did
human
that.
interaction. So when I finally do, I'm just like,
But
like
I love
no,
it.
I
We're
love it and I
so,
appreciate it.
yeah.
So I just want to say thank you so much again.
yeah.
To my listeners, I appreciate y'all listening. Y'all know that I love you guys thoroughly and completely. I hope you keep listening. Check Sydney Duncan out on TikTok, Instagram. She's amazing. And I'll put it in the link for you guys to check her out. Especially my favorite one, the Build-A-Bear stock. That was one of my, it was the most
Oh,
recent
no,
ones. It was
I
the
thought
most
that was the
recent one.
stupidest one.
It
It's
was
always the stupid one.
so cute and so funny. I was chuckling to myself. My daughter's looking at me like, Mommy, why you laughing? I'm like, don't even worry about it. Anyway, so
I'm out of touch with like what people think is funny, what people don't. Because I was like, that's stupid. That's gonna get 50
it
views.
was so
I
cute.
don't think it's out
Right.
of touch. I think that's the way it is in general. You know,
Yeah.
every time, you know, you create something, I know Nikki goes through it, you know, you create something and
true.
then you're like, no one's gonna like it, and then
Yeah.
everyone loves that one. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Yeah.
I'm the same way when I
Also,
create.
I like with energy, I think about this a lot recently where like people attract to you when you're like you seem aloof and that you don't care how people perceive you and then it makes people lean in. Same thing with men, which I hate. It's like that guy that's like not trying to like, oh, I want to figure you out and I hate that. Like, you know, just return a text, just be a good person, geez.
Yes, exactly. Don't
But
play
like
games.
that's what happens when that moment when you're like, oh, I don't really care. I'm just gonna.
Mhm.
It's almost like reverse
Psychology,
what's
it
the
is.
word
Yeah,
manifesting. It's like
yeah.
manifesting by like I think I don't know. I'm not that into manifesting, but like I think the idea of manifesting is that you put good energy out
That's
there,
right.
but you let it go.
Hmm.
And
Yes, you let
Oprah
it
talks
Yes.
go.
about
You
this.
don't hold on to. Yeah, Oprah.
Yes, she said you put out.
You
You
said
know
the
how to get
magic word
there.
there now.
You know how to get there. You know what you need to do. But you after like you say, oh, I want to be on this
Hmm.
show, or oh, I want this opportunity, and then you like stare at your computer until you get
It's
Yeah,
true.
energy doesn't
it's
come back
true.
to you
No,
that
it
Nope,
way.
does not.
never,
Not in that
never.
way.
What isn't for
Mm-mm.
you is going to come to you. So you have
Yes.
to like put good stuff out there,
That's
just
right.
let it go. And
Yes,
That's
then
right.
it'll
that's
come back
important.
to you. And I
Yes,
That's right.
think that's what manifesting is. I could watch a
I
couple
think
more
so
videos,
too.
but Oprah's pretty
We
convincing.
gotta do another show where
Oprah
we'll
has
just
been
have a
my
whole show of
therapist.
us talking
I
about
love
Oprah
Oprah.
Yes,
I
and
love
she is.
Beyonce for you too.
Beyonce. Yeah.
Yes, she has been my therapist. All right.
Yeah.
Deuces, y'all. See y'all later.
Bye,
Bye.
Thank you.
yeah.